The past year has been absolutely crazy for everybody. We've been dealing with a lot. Everything from a global pandemic and losing loved ones to social, emotional, and physical and psychological distancing, to other social issues. This past year has been absolutely crazy. Insane almost. But for me, this past year has been like walking through a wilderness. One year ago, I was serving as an interim pastor. I was trying to graduate from college, about to enter my senior year, and I was trying to get a business launched off the ground. And along the way, I faced some unexpected challenges. For starters, when you have that much going on, it becomes difficult to get everything done. Everything just seems to pile and stack and stack and stack. All of a sudden, it seems like your levels of stress just rise and rise and rise progressively. Oh, and did I mention I was in a long-distance engagement? That's right. I was engaged in a long-distance relationship. And still am. We haven't been able to get married yet. So in retrospect, was I trying to do too much? Probably. Probably yes. And while I was doing all this, really I was blindsided by this really unthinkable and unimaginable event. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition that caused me to lose nearly every hair on my body. And while you may be thinking, well, losing all your hair, that's not the worst thing that could happen to a person. And granted, you're right. But let me tell you, when you go through something like that traumatic, where just seemingly within a few days, all your hair is just gone, it's traumatic. It will freak you out. It scares you. You don't really know what's going on. I became unrecognizable. And while I was going through this, I felt so much shame. I didn't want to go out in public. I didn't want people I knew to see me like this. Call it pride, whatever you like, but it wasn't a good feeling. Now, in life, when something like this happens to you, you feel like you are being judged or cursed in some way. That only 1 in 4,000 people actually have this kind of condition, which, quite frankly, seems very high to me still. Like there's that many people who have it. You definitely feel alone like that. You feel abnormal. You don't feel normal. You feel like you are unique and not necessarily in a good way. So it's been a little over a year since this happened, since nearly every hair on my body has been stripped away. And I've finally about come to a place that I feel okay with how I look, that I can be content with myself. I've had to rebuild a bit of my self-confidence. I didn't want to make videos, didn't want to be on camera. I didn't want people to see me in public. Didn't want to go to class. Felt hideous. Felt like a freak. But the toughest part of all of this has been having to look into the eyes of my fiance and see how much pain all this stuff that's happened to me has caused her, and everything that she's endured through this entire process. Did you ever think about leaving Peyton?
There were times where I thought about leaving Payton, and that even just pains me inside to even say that out loud. But yes, sometimes I feel like my mind would just keep wandering and thinking, oh my gosh, what are people going to think that because he doesn't have his hair, he doesn't have his eyebrows? And I would just start thinking about what people thought, and thought, what if he never gets his hair back? Can I make it? And I was just being so selfish. And the thought went away as quickly as it came always. I never let it linger because I didn't want to. I didn't want to leave him. I love him. And I just couldn't be that person that left him because he was sick. And I didn't want to. And I hate that I even had those thoughts. And I makes me sound like a terrible person, I know. But I'm not leaving him. I'm not going to leave him. I don't have those thoughts anymore. But yes, at the beginning I did, and I'm just really glad that they've come and gone and that it didn't last. No, I am never going to leave him.
I'm very thankful for her. She hadn't left. She's been good. She's been supportive. She's been a great friend. It is written that God causes all things to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. Despite going through this awful season in my personal life, I know that I have not been forsaken. I know that I have not been abandoned. And I know that all these trials and everything I've endured and everything I shall continue to endure will produce greater amounts of faith and godliness. So now, as I progress on this journey that's been laid before me, in all things, in times of joy and in times of pain, I shall preach Christ and him crucified. And although I may not be serving in a pastoral role, I still proclaim this eternal truth, that Jesus Christ is the Lord. My name is Peyton. I'm a Christian, business owner, and the world's hottest bald man. And this is the Rebrand.